How's it? Today's Monday, November 27th. I'm kind of in this weird purgatory as far as programming goes. I can't really lift uninhibited, but I'm also not super injured. I'm like slightly injured. Um, so that means that I can't give 100% effort on like lifting heavy, and it also means that I am not relegated to sitting on the couch. I don't even have a couch. Sitting in my bed. I don't know. I think you get the point. So this week I'm gonna try to just lift um, similarly to last week, but a little bit heavier, a little bit better all around. I think I made the correct decisions with last week and kind of how to deal with my shoulder being as not operating at 100%. And I think that is slowly going to start to improve, and I'm looking forward to that. As far as today goes, same thing like last week, just a little bit heavier, like I mentioned. Muscle snatch plus overhead squat, so 3+1s up at 50. These muscle snatches don't feel good. Straight up, they feel painful. You see me kind of grimacing there. Um, I think that if I'm moving in the correct direction, this feels better than last week. So I am moving in the correct direction, and this does feel better than last week. And after that, I moved into my snatches. Pretty simple. Power snatch plus hang snatch. Last week I did 80, and today I did 85. Maybe I probably shouldn't have jumped that heavy, because 85 was pretty challenging today. But I don't know. It feels nice to move a little bit of weight, and after that I did some snatch deadlifts, which is 5 kilos up more than last week. Last week I think I did 90, 95, 100, 105, and then 110. So 5 triples. And I think those are really great. I think they make me feel like I'm lifting heavy, and that is really important to me. Today I did 95, 100, 105, 110, 115. And yeah, I don't know. I like the way that those feel. Those are a lot more challenging than I expected them to be. And then after that I did my front squats, just 5 triples at 125. Those were a lot better than last week too as well. So here's my last warm up at 80. I'm not using any straps here. I probably should have. You'll see me kind of when I drop the weight. Yeah, that right there, that little double bounce is because I couldn't hold onto the bar at the hang position. So I made the smart decision and moved into using some straps here. And like that's not a great lift, but it's also not terrible. So just to rehash, this is probably like the 10th time I'm talking about it, but my shoulder feels a little bit of pain sort of on like the lateral side of it when I move from the rack position on the front rack to the overhead position. So when I'm pushing, actively pushing, so the muscle snatches definitely don't feel great. The jerk does not feel good. Overhead press also does not feel good. Snatching, however, because I'm not really pushing in that position with my shoulders, it doesn't hurt as much as you would imagine. When it does hurt, it's like really legitimately when I'm doing the snatch push press, when I'm pressing for that muscle snatch, when I'm doing no contact stuff. That's kind of where it is painful. But snatching itself, especially because I'm kind of sliding into the position very quickly, doesn't hurt as much as you would expect it to if I was severely injured, you know? One thing to note about my programming right now, I hadn't even had a chance to talk with my coach, so I think in the remainder of the week, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, I'm gonna talk to him about perhaps moving my training split back to what it used to be, where I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like essentially one aspect of weightlifting. rather than today, you know, I'm doing snatches and I'm doing front squats. So normally I would just do snatches and then maybe some snatch pulls and then some accessories. And then the Tuesday I might do some clean stuff, maybe some front squats, maybe some back squats. I don't know. And then the Wednesday would be maybe just some jerks or maybe some other form of squat on that day. But right now, what it stands is, you know, Monday and Wednesday, I'm doing a classic lift or a variation of the classic lift plus a squat. And that doesn't leave a lot of room for accessory work. And I think I talked about it last week, but I think that's some of the reason why I feel the way I do is because I don't have time for the accessories, or I don't have the energy for the accessories, or a combination of the both. And that to me is valuable. So I'm gonna talk with my coach about that. I'm also gonna talk about something else with my coach. Becca, I don't know if you're gonna be watching this, but I might do the meet you want me to do in January. So I'll talk with him about that in the remainder of the week. As far as going back to the training goes, these front squats, 125. You're 5 kilos up from last week's 120. I honestly feel like these are a lot better than last week. My shoulder doesn't feel real pain necessarily when I'm doing this, but it doesn't feel great. It feels like it's a little bit unstable, but not to the point where I'm going to be hurting myself. I think one thing that I'm focusing on a lot more today is keeping abdominal pressure, core pressure as I'm squatting. Because what I noticed, I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, is sometimes I'm so exhausted at this point where I tend to get a little bit lazy, and then that makes the lifts so much more hard, so much harder, so much more difficult. I don't know how to talk. And I think that me focusing on my breathing and that overall core stability definitely has helped. Like, look at this. This is my last set here. My fourth set was definitely not great, so I needed to make sure that I came back and executed well on this last set. And, like, that was pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. As far as accessories, I know I touched on it a little bit earlier, but today is just real simple, some pull-ups, and then my Palloff press. These shots are not very great, though I'm like blindingly white, and I don't know, I tried something new today, so please bear with me. Like, watch this. This is like how bright my skin is. And it gets worse when I turn around. But I'm trying to figure some stuff out. I'm trying to play with my camera, see what it can actually do. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for your support, everybody. Thank you for watching. And I look forward to talking about tomorrow. Shoots.